Hello everyone, my name is Zoe and of course you guys are watching CONTY CHAT, and if you guys have not followed us on our social media, we are CONTY News on Facebook as well as on YouTube, whereas on Instagram and TikTok you guys can look us up at CONTY CHAT. Give us a follow, give us a like, and of course if you have any suggestions at all for interesting topics in the future, do tag us over on our social media. So today on the show we are actually a couple days away from this year's general election. I don't know about you guys, I'm actually super duper nervous because what is happening right now. We have a bunch of I would say Gen Zers who are about to vote for the first time. Of course we have Undi 18. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of stats before I introduce our guest for today. So if you guys don't know, Malaysia was one of the 9 countries in the world to set the voting age at 21. However, in 2019 Undi 18 was implemented. So currently our data shows that the election commission says about 21,173,658 registered voters have or are about to vote for GE15, which 6.58% or nearly 1.4 million are in the age group of 18 to 21. So I know a lot of people were very against 18-year-olds or anybody between the age of 18 to 21 to vote, because they say that these 18-year-olds, they don't have the knowledge to vote, they're just gonna vote based on who's popular. But judging by our current political landscape, is no longer that. So to chit chat and to give their opinion whether or not this is true, whether or not this is right, what can we do to improve, we have of course the president of University of Malaya Young Leaders Association, Mr. Lim. Hello, how are you?
Hello Zoe, I'm good. How are you?
Very, very good. I see that you're looking very handsome here today.
Thank you so much.
And of course our very own Marinisha, head of Bureau of Welfare and Unity of Young Leaders Association.
Hello,
so welcome
hi.
to the show.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. So I'm gonna ask both of you on the age of 21, 22. Is this your first time voting?
Yes, this is my first time voting if you are talking about general election of Malaysia. And to be honest, I'm really excited for it because I think this is the time for me to fulfill my responsibility as a citizen of Malaysia. Because we know that in the Federal Constitution of Malaysia, Article 119, every citizen of Malaysia has the right to vote. And I think this is the biggest privilege that a citizen can enjoy, to vote. To choose our future and also to determine the pattern of development for our country. So I think this is a very sacred responsibility that all of us should be going to vote and also determine the future of us and our nation.
I love how you coined the term. You said something along the lines of this is our right, and it's something for us to we should enjoy our right to vote. Do you share the same sentiment? I'm actually very curious.
Yes, we must enjoy our right because we are the youths, right? So we have the great right to vote, to choose what kind of person we want, what characteristic are we finding for them. So,
super awesome. All right, so we're gonna get into first hot question. So when Undi 18 was first proposed, it received a few criticism, some of which are youth in this age range cannot make a rational vote because they lack the knowledge and experience whenever it comes to politics. I would say during my time, yes, that's correct, because we were not as politically aware. We had the same party governing for so many years up until the last general election, and then we all know what happened after that, right? I'm actually very, very curious. So for Lim, what is your opinion about this? Do you agree with it or do you disagree?
Okay, I think Undi 18 is a decision that should be applaudable and welcomed by all parties and individuals. First of all, I think this is a platform that we can recognize and acknowledge the importance the roles can be played by the youth in order to contribute to our nation, because we recognize their role to vote in the general election. Second is we give acknowledgement for youth to become a leader. We are not just talking about youth are the future leaders, but in order to be a future leaders, we have to start to build their capacity, develop their leadership skill. So we have to give a platform for them to stand for the election. Can be a candidate for the state legislative assembly, can be for parliament. So the youth, when they win the election, they can go into the parliament, they can speak up for the youth, and to ensure that the policy formulated are comprehensive and holistic enough to cater to the interests of various groups. the adults, the youth, the student, etc. And second, I think if you take a look at from the legal perspective, right, the age of majority in Malaysia is actually 18 years old. So in Malaysia, you are considered adult when you reach 18 years old.
Right.
So when you are 18 years old in Malaysia, basically you can do a lot of things. For example, taking driver license for both motorcycle and motorcar.
Yep.
Second is that you can join any uniform bodies like police, bomber, etc. And also in Malaysia, you can start to sign contract and also enter into marriage. So as you can see, the law already recognise the roles of youth in so many platforms. So why not recognise the voices of youth to vote and also to participate in the democracy system in Malaysia? And third, if you take a look at our nation, right, Malaysia is doing good and progressing well in terms of empowering the youth. As you can see in Malaysia, there's a lot of platform to recognise the role of youth. First, we have the Parliament Belia or the Youth Parliament.
Yep.
Second, we have the Fellow Perdana, which is a platform that the youth can become the intern to the minister up until the Chief Secretary of Government and also the Prime Minister. So this is a platform, as you can see, there's a lot of other platforms, for example, National Youth Day and also National Youth Consultative Council. So as you can see, government are really concerned about the youth, to nurture our youth to be a future leaders. So they start from now. And fourth, if we take a look at university level, right, we have the campus election. We have the MPP, or they call it student union, and also in student association, right? Of course, we vote to choose our leader to guide the association, right? So that's why I said this is the rationale that we should not hesitate anymore to give the power to the youth to vote.
No, I love that sentiment, because when you mentioned that, I, as a former 18-year-old, I'm not gonna reveal when was I, when did I turn 18. That's actually very true, because 18-year-olds are given so much responsibilities the minute you finish your SPM, the minute you want to enter university. Again, like you said, you can. I took my driver's license at 17. So what's to say I cannot vote at 18 and I cannot make a just decision to understand who is this person I'm going to elect to parliament or to represent my dun, right? So Renisha, I'm actually very, very curious. For you, after hearing all Lim's debate right over there,
Yes.
do you think will young people come out to vote for this general election?
I think maybe they losing their hope, for example, because our previous government maybe just some people they give the chance, some people we don't get the chance. For example, like M40 and B40, right? So B40 is being focused, being prioritized, but M40 being neglected or something like that. So I think maybe they will lose their hope, but at the same time they will try their best by like what Lim said, actually 18 years old, we know everything. Actually we have the social media, we have scrolling the TikToks, maybe, right, Instagram, so we know a lot of information. So we cannot say that 18 years old student, 18 years old youth do not know anything. So they will just analyze and they will know which they want to choose, whom they want to choose.
No, I love it. I love it. With the presence of social media and how we have I'm not going to mention names, of course, the couple of TikTokers who are very active in relaying information, how to vote, even basic rights like how to vote, how to register. Even a lot of people didn't know that you're an automated registered voter the minute you turn 18, because last time you had to go to I went to the post office and had to manually register myself. I had to go to the website. With the amount of information that we have right now on the internet, does it make it easier for for the younger generation to get to know who are going to represent their dun, who's going to represent parliament, who's going to lead us in the future? Does it make it a lot more easier?
I think with the prevalence of social media, it make it easier for the youth to access to all this information. Because as you can see, right, the youth can actually observe what is the candidates or even the leaders are posting on social media. I mean, their personality, the word framed by them, and also how them acting on social media, right? All this. And also social media, I think, is a good platform for the candidates or leader to share what have they done for the constituency or for the nation, their contribution. And third is the manifesto. They can present the manifesto, and the youth can actually have access by just clicking on any app of social media to get to know of manifesto of different party. And fourth, I think social media should also be utilized as a platform for the candidate to actually have a healthy debate among them, so the youth can understand the sentiment and also what they hope to bring for the betterment of our nation. And fifth, I would suggest that youth should also actively utilize their freedom of speech as enshrined in our constitution, Article 10. So they should give their opinion, but of course they should be decent and also take care of their comment by giving a academic discourse, but not just ad hominem attack or just personal attack. No, but they should discuss about what this candidate have done and also what they can do better in the future, something like this.
Do you think, Renisha, on your timeline right now, on your feed, since we're gearing up towards for in a couple more days, we're actually gonna have the first the pre-votes, right? And then on 19 we're gonna do the actual voting. With the presence of social media as well. So Lim has spoken about the benefits of social media. What about you? Any negative or consequences that you see on social media? Perhaps there is right now what I see on Twitter, a couple of Malaysian artists who've come out and produced a song, right? And a lot of people have disagreed tweets saying that, oh, you're only voting for this for money lah, so and so lah. You're not actually doing just to the political party or to the representative itself. So I'm very curious, in your perspective, do you see any negative connotation in social media right now, and anything you want to point out specifically?
Actually, I have seen it. Just now I have seen about people like saying about the specific political party. They are like condemning some political party. I think that is the negative side, because we have the right to choose which party that we want. So any people cannot you must vote this one is not good, you must vote it. We cannot do like that. So that is the one of the negative points that I see on social media about the politics itself, or maybe like what you say, like the artists or something like that, the TikTok famous, right? So they actually TikTok famous plays an important role to for the youths, because the youths tend to follow them, right? Follow their steps and others. So the TikTok famous must do the best to ensure that the youths will do the best for the country.
Right, and also to relay the correct information instead of trying to sway information, right? All right, very interesting. Want to come back and then discuss how can we better educate our youth and to pique their more interest to participate, to just be more alert and to be more aware of what's happening politically around them. We're going to come back on the show, ladies and gentlemen, so please don't go away.
Marilah mari pergi mengundi, jangan lupa kewajiban pada negara. Marilah mari pergi mengundi, jangan lupa kewajiban pada negara. Hari undi akan tiba, kegagalan demokrasi, guna hak kita semua yang asasi. Fikir terlebih dulu dengan akal lestari, sebelum membuang undi yang dihargai. Marilah mari pergi mengundi, jangan lupa kewajiban pada negara. Marilah mari pergi mengundi, jangan lupa kewajiban pada negara. Jangan lupakan pengenalan serta nomor daftar undi, masa tidak kerugian membuang undi. Bila memakai kertas undi, harus kita berhati-hati, kalau salah tak berganti sesat sendiri. Marilah mari pergi mengundi, jangan lupa kewajiban pada negara. Marilah mari pergi mengundi, jangan lupa kewajiban pada negara.
Welcome back to Conti Chat, ladies and gentlemen, with me Zoe, as well as Lim Shen, as well as Renisha Marinisa.
Yes.
Welcome. All right. So earlier on, we spoke about youth involvement in the political scene. Now I'm actually very, very curious. I'm gonna go ahead and ask ladies first. Yeah.
Sure.
You're right.
Ladies
All right,
first.
Renisha. With the involvement of younger voters this general election, do you think they have the power to change the political landscape for Malaysia?
From
And what impact
sorry.
would they do to this GE?
Okay, in my opinion, youths actually can change the political landscape because for me, youths they have like matured perspective, for an example, and then they can change. They can find actually who can help them, for an example, right? Who can help them like in their studies and something like that. So for me, political landscape actually can be changed by involving the youths in the voting system, because they will choose the best one, like what I said before. Yeah, that's quite simple elaboration by me.
All right, awesome.
Okay.
Lim, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, okay, if I were to say comment on this topic, I would take a look at the voters statistic, right? So as you know, the statistic released by the SPR, the Election Commission, we can see that there's 21.1 million of the voters in Malaysia. So out of that, the age group of 18 until 20, the voters are about 1.939 million. And if 18 until 40 years old, the voter will be about 10 million out of 21 million. So you can see how is the impact of the youth in the voting composition, right? So I think the youth will definitely make up the majority of the voters, and their voices should be uplifted by all these candidates and also the leaders. As we know that the youth, they have a lot of creative, fresh, innovative ideas. So I think this is the way that they will of course choose the best candidate who will work for their best, in their best interest of the nation and themselves, by looking at the manifesto, whether it's comprehensive enough, because I think the youth want political stability, good economy, cost of living, youth empowerment efforts in Malaysia, housing issue, minimum wage issue, because these are really close to the heart of the youth, right? So youth will really see whether the manifesto present are just some to the whims or fancy of the candidate, or it's really practical and can be carried out by them. So
No, I agree with that. Instead of like now we are, everything is on the internet. Nothing can be deleted off the internet. You can try, you can do your hardest, but if you have said that you're gonna do A, B, C, D, and E, you have to do A, B, C, D, because we as the current generation, we see what you're doing and not doing, right? I'm very, very curious as well, in your opinion, do political parties, or what can political parties in this country do to celebrate the involvement of the younger generation who are coming out to vote, who are coming out to not protest, to be more involved in the current political climate?
Okay, I think the political parties should engage the youth actively when they are doing, let's say, a policy or even a manifesto, right? So they should hear from the youth themselves. They should hear from the ground, hear from the grassroots, to understand what is the sentiment, what is the concern happening among the people. So in order to ensure that their manifesto, their policy that they hope to present when they get the power is really relevant. Second is that the political party should also do some education series, for example, to teach the younger generation how to vote, the process of voting. And third, I think the political party should also give more platform for the youth in their party to become the candidate. Because when they're talking about empowering the youth, they should start from their party to give more opportunities for them to stand during the election.
So with the upcoming general election, we are seeing more younger politicians being involved, and I feel like it gives me a sense of belonging, where I feel like, hey, finally I have a representative that's around my age group, representing what I think, what my generation's problem are. So it makes me feel like I need to be more politically aware of what's happening currently here in Malaysia, especially. So do you think with the presence of younger politicians such as Syed Sadeh, we have Shario Handam as well, do you think they will attract more younger voters to be more aware of what's happening around them?
Okay, in my opinion, yes, younger voters actually plays an important role for us youths to listen to them, because we have the same mindset, right? So the youths and with the old people maybe like different mindset. Maybe they say A, we will say B, or like different, right? So when we have the youths in the parliament themselves, so this will help us to voice out, like what you said just now, voice out our opinion, voice out our feelings, for an example. Because as we say, Sheikh Sadiq also like prioritize students, something, right?
Yeah.
He prioritize students. So this really helps the youths for what? To uphold their rights.
Yeah.
To uphold their rights. So that's it. That is my opinion. I think the youth must be in the parliament
Yep.
for our benefits in the future. Yeah.
Alright. What about you, Lim? When are you gonna run for, any when are you gonna run for Johor, man?
I will be more active in NGO and youth organisation. Okay, for the question, I think if more with the presence of more younger generation, I mean a young politician, I think they will be producing more concerned citizen among the youth, because the youth were interested to know what policy are friendly to them. For example, you can see last time there was the introduction of the youth parliament. There's also the minimum age to vote, the Undi 18 bill, and also the age of youth, because previously it was 18 until 40, and now the recent age was 18 until 30 years old. And also, of course, we're talking about the minimum wage for internship. So all this is actually a youth-friendly policy, and I think, of course, the youth hope to see more. And also in the budget and other policy, like in the budget we have the Peranti Siswa, we have the e-wallet, etc. So these are all the policy that will make the youth to be more interested to know what the country are doing for them, and also what they can do for the country. Second, I think with the presence of more younger generation, from the politician, it will somehow inspire and motivate the youth to do the same like them. For example, to be as great as the politician, just like, because when someone is in the age of 20 years old, I give example in UK, there's the name is called Mary Black. She's just 20 years old when she is elected to UK Parliament. So the youth will be inspired to be like someone like her. Yeah, so I think this is a source of inspiration.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said, like you mentioned earlier on, if we look at the politics overseas, we have so many young ministers, young presidents, but here in Malaysia, I feel like, hey, the minute a youngster comes up, and then like you mentioned, Renisha, earlier on, there is a difference in
the difference in the age gap.
yes,
right?
difference in the age gap, our problems, what we are facing, and the policies that we want to see being discussed in Parliament. So it's actually a very, very interesting topic. How do you think we can encourage more youth to be just a little bit more politically aware, or just trying to be, hey, actually I want to know what's happening in the Parliament, I want to know what is this policy about, I want to know what is this bill about, instead of like having to sit in history class, have to memorize, what are the 3 branches of Parliament, how can we make learning more about our government, or learning about more our political policies more interesting for the youth?
First of all, I think we need to increase in terms of the education and the advocacy about the parliamentary democracy system, because in Malaysia we practice parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy. And also for our voting system, we adopt the first past the post, which is the first who reach the majority, simple majority, will get the parliament seat. So I think this is something that the youth should be exposed to. Maybe you can start from, for example, election in the school, even in the campus, for example, to elect the prefectorial board, the student representative council, student association, so the youth can feel for themselves what is the voting process like, and also they can appreciate what is the importance of voting, because when they vote, the vote will be translated to the election of the leaders, so they choose the leader directly. Second, I think in order for them to understand, not just reading the book and etc., the school and also all these youth organizations should be collaborating. For example, to send the youth to parliament, to have a field trip, maybe to the government office in Putrajaya, in state office, etc. So the youth can see how is the operation of a government office, and also to appreciate what is the 3 branches of government. For example, as you mentioned just now, right? It's not just a hardcore knowledge on the textbook, so they can feel for themselves when they go to the ground. And third, I think, talking about election, right? I sincerely hope that the academy, Pilihan Raya, or the election academy can do more simulation, which is a simulation of the process of voting, let's say in school or higher education institution. So when they do a simulation, right, it's basically like what is the election going to be like, so the youth can participate and involve, for example, to dip their hand in the ink, to fill how to cross the paper, etc. And so they have a basic knowledge before they even go to vote. And fourth, I think is that the government should encourage youth to read out more and participate in nation building by allocating time for them to participate in student organisation, and also to give more allocation and platform for the youth to organize more impactful activity in order to influence their peer to do the same thing for the betterment of a nation.
So unfortunately, we're running out of time. I wish we could have a little bit more time to speak to both of you. I love enjoying speaking to both of you. Any last words? What are your hopes for the future generation of Malaysia, and any last words to say to them?
Okay, my hope is I would like to persuade everyone to do anything to uphold your rights. For example, like this voting, you must always remember, you must always analyze who is the best for you and who can help you, like students, who can help the students, and like that. Before we voting, before we choose the person, we must know whether maybe the candidate A, okay, what are their manifestos, for an example, and the candidate B, what are their manifestos. So that is the way on how we can choose the right person for our future, better future in future generation. And my second point is I would like to say that actually youth's voice must be heard outside there, because we are the future generations. We are going to live in this world maybe for about maybe 20 years more, and yeah, we are going to
Girl,
live.
I want to live 50 more years,
Yeah,
20 more years.
Maybe I don't know how long we will live, but
Yeah.
we are the future generation.
Yeah.
So that is important for us to make a good choice so that we will not regret. So one of the best points
Yeah.
is by voting the correct person. So
Alright.
that's it. That is my
Awesome.
hope actually.
Alright, what about you, Lim?
Okay,
Short
my
and
hope
sweet?
is simple. I hope that the youth can utilize their right. Before go to voting, they should analyze, as what Renisha says, they should observe the candidate. For example, I hope they don't vote based on the party, they vote based on the credibility and the background of the candidate by looking at the track record, academic background, their achievement, and also what they hope to bring for the constituency. And second is that I urge the youth do not vote based on popularity, because popularity is not a measurement or is not an indicator for you to vote for that person, because popularity sometimes can be gained by saying something that please the ears of the people. So vote wisely and vote with your good sense, and also observe what is the candidate doing and choose the best for yourself, your community, and the future of a nation.
Alright, super duper awesome. Thank you again so much, Lim, and also Renisha, for coming on the show. I hope you have a pleasant time voting. Again, this is your first year voting. To those of you who are watching, again, please heed the advice of these two incredibly talented, amazing youngsters. Please vote based on who you think is the most credible person, not based on the party. And of course, if it's your first time voting as well, do let us know. Share with us on social media. Tag us on CONTY CHAT over Instagram and TikTok. On your blue finger, do show us, and again, don't forget to use the hashtag CONTY CHAT. Okay, I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Zoe. Bye bye.